Hey guys, D6 here. We're back with a really cool game. I really hope we get to see Aphrodite.
Hello, everybody. This is D Sinks, and joining me is going to be Mr. Fat Egg himself. Just kidding. We couldn't get the better caster here. It's actually just going to be F Dot joining us today. And you know what? There might be an Aphrodite.
I can ban you.
You can from what?
Everything.
All right. Well, speaking of bans,
Ban
Zeus, it happened. F Dot is happy. He can go, I don't know, guess further home now, as Zeus is going to be taken off the board. And Aphrodite, well, an Afro ban is good enough for me. She's going to get taken off the table by Cyclone.
I hope they banned her just because you like that character.
Yeah, because Cyclone is sitting there watching the cast being like, oh, yes, it's D-Sings. He loves Aphrodite. Let's take away.
You don't know those guys. They definitely are those guys.
I don't know those guys. I doubt they were watching the cast here even. They really probably just banned Aphrodite because she really ran the table here. But it's going to come down to the final ban now from Cyclone. They're going to take away Terra Healing, the name of the game that they don't want to play against. They're going to go ahead and get rid of Terra now. First pick going over the way of FeelingPumped.
Yeah, I mean, we saw in game one, Trixtank was able to really do work with the Terra. So I feel like Terra's a character at this point where you kind of always want to ban her. And then every now and then you're like, all right, let's let her get through and see what the enemy team can do with it. And then if it's really that consequential, then you ban it later. I think this pick Nike right here is going to be very similar.
Yeah, speaking of characters letting them through, Nike, this is going to be your first non-ban of the set, and FeelingPumped immediately going to snag Nike. A little bit of flex between this character, and she can go solo. We've seen her in support before, and it's going to be Freya locked in for Cyclone. That was a no ban, and Vote is going to go ahead and take that one to the duo lane.
So Freya won the game that Vote NBK played her, but yes. Freya, let me correct that. Freya was on the winning team, but Freya did not necessarily win that game. So I want to see more out of this Freya.
And they're going to pair it up with the Fafnir one more time here. Faf on Callus. Yeah, he is going to be he's going to be a very potent dual lane right now, coming out for CycloneGG. This in the end game, this lane is going to be unstoppable. Is Guan Yu going to get locked in here? This could go to a lot of people, but if history serves us correctly, that's a Trix god.
Absolutely. It's Trixtank. No question at all. With that said, I expect to see Nike in the solo lane. I don't really see her as a strong support, but if that's what her flex is, then it's taken. So I expect to see Trix on the Guan for sure.
And it's going to be Erlang one more time for Deathwalker. Ran it in game one. A lot of run backs here, really, for Cyclone, it seems. They're going to go for the Erlang. And, I mean, I don't think that Deathwalker had a bad performance on the character. I don't think he had an amazing performance. He kind of just did what Deathwalker does. Had a very, very good performance on this character as we're going to go into the second round of bans here. And it's going to be Bacchus immediately taken off the table. And I don't blame Cyclone at all for just getting rid of that. Though, Guan Yu's already picked, so maybe an oversight?
Absolutely. That is very silly to me. I think that this is... I mean, if you know the enemy, Trixtank, that is a very silly ban for me.
And not Bacchus, Hunbots, the other B, is going to get taken away here. Love this ban. iceicebaby, his Hunbots is so incredibly good. Is Sobek also going to get taken away here? I don't know what they're thinking about here as they take away two supports when, I mean, in my eyes, our support is definitely already on the board.
No. You know what? To be completely fair, I mean, Ducky does have we've seen Ducky play Guan as well, very strongly.
But it's Trix.
Yeah. So
is Trix going to give up Guan?
Here's the situation. I basically feel like if Cyclone don't ban out those gods, if Cyclone don't ban the Bacchus, then Trix goes, fine, Ducky, take Guan, I'll take Bacchus. So it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. I take back what I said. I see where Cyclone is coming from. I think that inevitably the Guan is going to go to Trix, but I think it might have been influenced by the bans.
And they're going to go ahead and pick Isis here for Cyclone. They're going to take a mid-dominant character. Isis, I'll be honest, I don't actually love the Isis in mid lane, but hold that thought. Bellona going to get locked in, and FeelingPumped, they're feeling 3 warriors right now in their composition.
I mean, warriors are the jack of all trades, master of all trades, right? Ducky, you're basically going to have solo. Wait a second. I mean, that's a jungle Bellona, right? Yeah.
I mean, it could be a jungle Bellona. That's something that definitely could be brought out here. Unless Twig's feeling a little carroty today, he might be like, no, go ahead and give me the Guan Yu. Raw locked in, and F dot, this one's for you, buddy. Thanatos for Cyclone.
Oh, hot yams. I love Thanatos. He's able to, it's interesting. I like Thanatos a lot, and you know, to be serious for a moment, I don't like the selection here. I think that the Thanatos into a healer is
into 2 healers.
Yeah, it's not my favorite. Thanatos, I would love to see how many executes get juked thanks to a heal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in love with the pick either. They really did, FeelingPumped really did focus out Ice with all the bans there, and I guess Thanatos is just a pick there. But you know, you have a diamond Thanatos now, so you don't need any more worshippers. But just a reminder, you can get 3 times the amount of worshippers when you play Smite right now through Monday. So go ahead, party up, play with your friends, play without your friends, just try and get to those diamonds as we're going to be cutting into game here. And it's going to be Twiggy. He's going to be the piloter of that Nike in the jungle.
Huh. Well, we'll see how it works out. So CycloneGG, that's the red team, right?
Red team is Cyclone, correct?
Yeah. So CycloneGG, last game they had 0 mid pressure, right? They had the Nemesis, like it was just not there. Now they have 2 of the earliest game. They were like, all right, that didn't work. So let's do the polar opposite, and we'll get the earliest jungler and one of the earliest mid mages. So there is a method to the madness, but I think it's just madness.
Yeah, I don't. Well, here's the thing. You're talking about Thanatos, and I agree. I don't like the Thanatos pick here, but my eyes are on the Isis here. I don't like Isis a lot in the mid lane because she just dies.
Would you prefer her in the jungle? Like, I mean, what do you mean?
I mean, okay, let me rephrase then for you, F dot. I don't like Isis.
Okay.
I think that she's a character that just dies. Her big gimmick is area of control, CC with the stun, with the silence, her ultimate. But right now she's like, I'm gonna CC, I'm dead. It doesn't matter. I hit the spirit ball, I hit the silence, but I'm still dead. There's only so much that she can do. And really, you have characters like Zeus. Also, Zeus's self-peel is that you die first. And that's what Zeus does. And I think that just ends up working out better. Wlfy, I'm curious to see what he's going to do. I think Wlfy had an all-star game 1. Game 2 was really invisible. Game number 3, let's see what his Isis can do.
So, I'm going to combat that. I actually disagree wholeheartedly. CycloneGG have an excellent objective secure composition between the Fafnir and the Isis. I mean, like, what are you going to do? You have a circle of protection down, and everybody's swinging 1,000 miles a minute. Cyclone have a fantastic setup, and there's a Wrath on the jungle Nike. So CycloneGG, I want to see some early Bolt Furies right away.
Well, the next patch that's coming out, Nike is going to get nerfed with that shield, but for right now, that shield. For people who are unfamiliar, I mean, Nike hasn't been played a whole lot. She got played a little bit earlier, but just a quick refresher. Her ultimate ability, when it's combined with her number 2, will actually give Nike, as she's going to look aggressively in the mid lane here, but it's going to give Nike a 60% additional health shield. So Nike can just jump in, knock up, press 2, press 4, and steal an objective away. Trixtank going to steal away a life.
Nice little early kill, and that's why we were hyping him up so much. I mean, Trixtank, this is his brand. So we've seen 2016 Trixtank sort of reel it in, play the Khepri, play the Geb, be a little bit more conservative. But this is vintage Trixtank.
Yeah, I mean, you can't take the aggressiveness out of Trixtank. Even on the Khepri and whatnot, he's still going into the middle of everybody trying to find those kills for his team. Guan Yu, I mean, when I think of Trixtank, the first god that honestly comes to mind, I guess it's probably Bacchus, but then after that is the Wukong. But Guan Yu is going to just let Trix walk forward at people, and he really wants to show off that aggressiveness. A blue stone pendant is going to be the selection for the support Guan Yu. Going to go ahead and circumvent that Watcher's Gift. He, thank God he got that first blood, because that could have worked out very, very poorly for him.
I mean, he generally on the warrior support. So warrior supports, it's a very interesting pull. Nah, no aggression. Warrior supports are a different sort of breed, right? When you have a Guardian support, you're looking for the peel, you're looking for the setup. When you have a warrior support, especially a Guan Yu support, it's a different it's a different breed of support. Guan Yu is obviously going to be there for the heals, but he's also there. The protection shred out of Tallow Assault, he's there to lower the kill threshold of the enemy. So this Chronos at level 4, level 3, level 5, it's not necessarily a god that's going to murder you like he will in the late game. But if the Guan Yu with the blue stone is able to bring somebody down to half HP, all of a sudden the slow and the timer murder somebody. So that when you're playing the warrior support, you're looking for the extra damage intently.
So let's finish off our talk of warriors here with the third warrior on the side of Feeling Punked, Ducky on this Bellona. I really like this selection here for Ducky. Before Ducky was Dignitas Ducky, he subbed in for a set for Energy, now a team now known as Energy. I do believe they were still Panthera back then. And he played Bellona and ran the table on the enemy team. And Dignitas was like, yo, we'll pick you up. And Ducky ends up going to Dig. Everything works out. But this is where, for those of you who didn't follow the amateur scene, for those of you who didn't follow Challenger Cup,
beautiful shot. Nulisa nails the player after Trixtank lowers the kill threshold thanks to the ult and the Tallow Assault. That's all we were talking about.
Now he's going to still be pushing forward a little bit. Callus not going to connect on that jump here. Trick's going to put in some damage. Iceice's going to put in a lot of damage, but Trix, he's going to press 1 and be okay. Nulisa, if need be, he's going to now click on his meditation and another heal coming forward. Trixtank is now finishing with way more health than before that Death Scythe ever connected.
Heals, heals, heals. We already see a curse. I expect to see at least 2 curses. Thanatos is up. Ducky's executed. See you later, iceicebaby. And then sends the Death Scythe to Trixtank just for good measure.
That was a nice play coming out from both teams, honestly. Trixtank healed up Ducky immediately and took him out of that execute threshold once Thanatos went into the air. But Ice was very, very patient and just waited. Deathwalker then went in, poked him out a little bit more, and, well, the heal is not on an infinite cooldown right now. Trixtank could not heal up his soul laner again, and Ducky just got the execution brought down on top of him.
That's imperative. I mean, I can't understate how important that is for Thanatos. You're a Thanatos and you're behind a jungle Nike with minimal fights. That's just not allowed. You can't do that. And so that kill for Thanatos is incredibly important. He's still not caught up to the jungle Nike, and that's the kill had to happen.
Nobody is right now, actually, as Nike sitting on top of player worth. So we're talking about Nike a little bit as a character, but speaking to her strictly as a jungler and thinking about, I mean, she has a knock-up, she has decent gank potential, but I think this is going to be more so kind of, oh, I'm the support and Trixtank is the jungler. I think that's going to end up being how this dynamic really works out between these two teams, which is something that you have the option with when your support is the most aggressive support in Europe, Trixtank, and your jungler is one of the more historically passive junglers, more defensive junglers coming out in CaptainTwig.
Historically, but it's sort of like 2016 has been
last game he held W. Yeah, last game he just held W the whole time. So historically,
it's been so interesting. Oh my goodness, I didn't notice that. Look at the mid lane. There's an SWC logo.
Oh, did you really not know that? Yeah, there's a Smite World Championship logo. You can't get tickets anymore, but that's going to be January 5th through the 8th, I believe. If I'm remembering my dates correctly, tune in on the same channel, hi-rez TV. But right now, Trix is kind of standing over nearby this Gold Fury, just looking to catch anybody out right now. It's going to be Callus, and Sports, they're just going to duke it out right now. In 2 auto attacks, Trixtank looks like it takes nothing. Callus, I think a decent amount of poke, but not historically, but one of the more damaging Guardian supports is Fafnir, and Trixtank just is going to completely outclass him as far as damage is concerned this entire game.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm expecting as well. But going, left side, we see the Fafnir in a little bit of trouble. Trixtank wants it, dashes forward, finds a slow, but Callus should be fine.
Yeah, Twiggy gonna get stunned out here. He's getting CC down a lot. Jumping away. Wrath gonna come down, and red buff gonna be taken. Death Scythe not gonna connect from iceicebaby, and everybody on the side of Feeling Pumped is just gonna walk
Where's
away.
The punish? That can't happen. And here comes the other way around. Nulisa's gonna miss the ultimate. Actually, she nicked Wlfy, but there's iceicebaby helping out the team. CaptainTwig's low, and he's gonna jump forward. So many heals, saving the jungler. From around the backside comes Deathwalker. They're surrounding him. Twig's got nowhere to go.
Dimi, in the meantime, on the backside, was forced to rewind out. Callus is going to be the one putting damage onto him. He almost killed Vote, but not quite enough. Instead, just going to grab the mid-harpies at the end of the day. A 1-for-0 trade. That's right. Wlfy ended up surviving throughout that. Nike, the only one who falls there. Twiggy going to find his first spill of the game for what looked like a great fight for Feeling Pumped. CycloneGG able to turn it around just by keeping a few players alive.
Yeah, Cyclone owes Feeling Pumped dinner, like a steak dinner. That was not their fight. Feeling Pumped walked into Cyclone's front yard and took everything. There was no problem. They just walked into the red buff and there was no punish. You heard me audibly get angry, and then Feeling Pumped engaged. It was fine, but nothing really lined up. There wasn't any cohesion to the team fight because it was Trixtank on a whim. And this is one of the interesting things when you see these community tournaments come out like this, is the fact that these players are used to playing. If Trixtank makes that play with Orbit, Feeling Pumped gets 2 to 3 kills, a Gold Fury, and maybe a mid tower. But because he's playing with teammates that he's not as in sync with, it just falls down, like Chris Kirkpatrick.
Yeah, and now it's going to be Nike getting poked out a little bit more here. Red buff's just going to get dropped. Right now, this team comp feels very awkward to me because despite the amount of frontliners they have, I feel like they only have one real initiation on the team. Yes, Nike has her jump, but it's a very slow jump. But it's really the cavalry charge when I think about initiations, or Bellona rally here. You know, those are really your initiations, and after that, just not a whole lot of follow-up. Though Nike does have that huge AoE slow on her ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, Feeling Pumped, that's really what I'm looking at, is how effective this jungle Nike works out as far as the initiations are concerned for definite. Gold Fury is going to be started up by Feeling Pumped. They bring it down to about 50, and they'll leash it right away.
Yeah, they don't want to contest against Wlfy right now. Instead, they just want to contest Wlfy's life. Down falls Wlfy thanks to the setup from CaptainTwig and the shot from nulisa. Callus could be the one in a little bit of trouble here. On the backside is Deathwalker going to hit the pin down. Ice jumps onto one, but he gets jumped on. Ducky going to claim the kill. Deathwalker has to taunt just to keep Vote alive. 2 quick picks, a Wrath still available, and no circle of protection. This is going to be a free Gold Fury going the way of Feeling Pumped, and they're feeling an early game lead right now.
Gold Fury goes the way of Feeling Pumped. You got to be aware of your farm and situation in comparison to the rest of the game. Thanatos right now is down a level. He's down a ton of farm. He's almost 1,000 gold down from the enemy jungler. He lands down on top of nulisa, who sure, she doesn't have any defensive stuff just yet, but as a Thanatos that's behind, you're not going to kill that Ra. That was just a Thanatos, if he's ahead, gets that kill, but he's not. You have to be aware.
I don't know if Thanatos even gets that kill, though. Even if he is ahead, you had Trix there, ready to support nulisa if need be. But most importantly, it wasn't just Trix. There were 3 people surrounding nulisa at that point in time. So he jumps down, and then Twig jumps on top of him. Rally here comes out from
Did
Ducky.
He just
and
sell his item?
Who sold
Homie
what?
just sold his Shield of Regrowth. Thanatos built Shield of Regrowth, and then he sold it for a beat stick. That is such a gold loss. That is.
Yeah, so you were talking about Shield of Regrowth earlier on Thanatos, and I don't really like it on Thanatos, but if you're gonna build the item, you do kind of have to commit right now.
Absolutely.
I'm wondering about iceicebaby at this point in time. Huge game 1 for Cyclone. They're coming in. They're feeling good. Game 2, they just can't do anything at a certain point. That maybe game 2 went on too long for them, honestly, because it seems like Ice might be a little discouraged, might not be in the exact right state of mind, making some poor early game decisions, which normally might not be the worst thing in the world, but you're Thanatos. All you really got is your early game.
Exactly. And you know, I don't even like it when players sell Doom Orb. Okay, selling items is you get 2/3 of the gold back that you spent. It's just never say never. It is rarely an efficient way to go when you're buying a full item, not a starter item. You see bridge items like Bluestone, all that. I just vehemently disagree with this decision, and it's going to put a player that's already behind even more so behind the 8 ball.
Well, there's 80% healing reduction right now on the side of CycloneGG, just with the 2 items of Brawlers and Divine Ruin. And Trick's going to eat a little bit of a Death Scythe there. It looks like they wanted for something to happen in the left side, but Feeling Pumped just went ahead and stopped them from doing that. Trix just rotated and said, hey, no, I know you're here. Back off. You're not ganking Dimi right now. Which, once again, for Feeling Pumped, if you get to the end game with Dimi, then all of a sudden things are going to look mighty peachy for you with that late game Chronos damage. But now you have a raw heal, a raw ultimate to accompany with it as well.
Feeling Pumped. Cyclone are They're in a bad spot, man. They're in such a bad spot. Trixtank is the level of the Freya right now. It's all downhill from here.
You're down when you have Isis Thanatos against a team with 2 healers and 3 frontliners. It's just, this is never where you want. I mean, you never want to be losing. When you look at a Smite game, you never want to think, you know what, I want to be 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you never want to be 5K down. You never want to
lose?
You never, yeah, because I don't want to say this is not where you want to be and then not follow with, well, yes, that's never where you want to be. But you really don't want to be down right now if you're Cyclone, because coming back into this game is just going to be such a rough ass for them as the red buff once again gets stripped away.
Yeah, I want to see how Cyclone respond to this, however. Here's the team fight. Collis is going to transform. Ice is getting isolated by the support. CaptainTwig shows up and intercepts the Death Scythe. Dimi on the left side could be the target, but instead he's got a target of his own. Colossus falls down, and Dimi gets credit. Cyclone has to punish that, man.
They tried to punish it. They did what they could, but at the end of the day, it was just the setup coming out. iceicebaby gets jumped on. Doom Taunt comes out from Deathwalker, trying to keep his jungler alive. Ice will make it out okay. No ultimate available for Nulisa here. Range not quite in CaptainTwig's favor, and they'll just all walk away right now. They have a couple minions here. Meditation comes out from Trixtank, and in another moment, it's not going to look like anybody did any sort of fighting thanks to all of the healing that FeelingPumped out.
CycloneGG have all of the tools to run the early game, and FeelingPumped just don't give a. They're just running into the enemy jungle with no regard for human life against an Isis and a Thanatos because Cyclone have given them the opportunity. And this is one of the big things. This is one of the big things that separate good players from better players. I don't want to say great. Is recognizing how large the windows are, because CycloneGG, they were down. Now they're down 4,000 gold. At the time that we saw the invade coming out from FeelingPumped on the left side for the red buff, they were only down 2,500 to 3,000 gold. That's a fight you can fight at 14 minutes. But Cyclone have shied away from so many fights. They have walked away, and because of how nice they've been to FeelingPumped just said thank you and took everything else. Cyclone could have fought these fights, and they have chosen not to. That is a big difference than being beaten down.
Yeah, Cyclone, last game was a beatdown. Last game, Cyclone fought, and they just couldn't do anything. This game, it seems like they're a little shook here. They're worried. I mean, last game, they couldn't deal with one single target healer. Now you have 2 AoE healers. How are you going to deal with that? And it's making them scared, except for Ice, who's kind of just going in at bad times. Ice isn't necessarily playing scared. Will come back to the Shield of Regrowth. He has the Shade of Regrowth.
Yeah, we talk about playing scared. He's playing mad. He's angry that they lost last game.
Yeah, and he's kind of just going in by himself. He has a Shield of Regrowth again, though. He sold the item after buying it, and now he has it again. So madness can sometimes.
Do you hear this?
Yeah.
You know what that is?
It's Facepalm.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same way, honestly, as Ice could be the one. Oh, nice shot from Nulisa. No setup needed. She's just going to blast Ice there. Surrender Vote comes out. That's pure frustration right now for FeelingPumped. And it's going to be
16 minutes.
Yeah, that was Ice just rage hitting F6, and now they're going to look to push down this tier 2 tower right now. No raw ultimate available, a little bit of CDR, but they will be fighting the 4v4 as Ducky is still pushing. 2-man taunt comes out from Deathwalker, 2-man ultimate going to hit from Callus, but Twiggy, he's just walking at Vote. Vote can't do anything about him. Whoop. Stun again. Twig brought down. Vote will be alive. Deathwalker might not share quite the same luxury here as he's the one being forced out now.
Trixtank goes for the initiation, doesn't find the stun. Deathwalker exits stage right. Vote NBK low. Wlfy low. There comes the long-range shot out of the Chronos. Can't find it. Tier 2 tower is just a memory. Dimi gets the kill. Up goes the Thanatos. Down goes the Ducky. Icebaby's still bad, but he gets the kill.
And now Ice going to be forced to Sanctuary. Oh! Wait, but it doesn't matter. Nulisa going to find the shot from downtown. Perfectly timing that one up. Icebaby, he got the execute, but you can't. Well, it didn't matter. Nulisa has an execute of her own. It's called Raw Ult. And now Deathwalker, he's walking back in. Still wants to try and keep his red buff okay. Maybe just once. Not going to work here. But Nulisa, she hit 2 great snipes with really no setup.
I mean, this is... Man... People doubted this player. Like Nulisa was a substitute for Epsilon back when they were called Epsilon, and she's a high ranked player. We saw her in the Combine, and we saw her play on Elevate, and obviously Elevate didn't do anything. But players were just people were Nulisa's a one trick pony. She plays this Giannis. She is an extremely adept mid laner, and I'm very happy that she's putting her she gets the opportunity to put her stuff on display. This Ra has been fantastic. And you know what's exciting about this set, D6?
What is it?
It's the fact that she's been playing so many different styles. She played her one-trick pony Giannis in game number 1. Then she
looked bad, honestly. That Giannis first game just didn't do much of anything for her.
And then game 2, she went the opposite way with an Aphrodite. I love how many different styles we're seeing.
Well, it's going to be Cyclone. They're going to snag the Fire Giant here. Actually, nulisa not going to hit that ultimate. They snuck the Fire Giant, and now it's a game of disengage. Deathwalker not going to be one of the players who makes it out. Ice might be the second casualty here. However, 3 players are currently just running away. Wlfy, Vote, and Callus still with the Fire Giant around their belt. They're going to go back to base. Callus detransforming could be a little dangerous here, and it's actually going to be the fight. They're going to look to resume it here as Dimi swooped around on the backside, going to take 50% of Wlfy's health bar immediately.
Ducky's going to look to finish the deal right under the tower. Wlfy goes down. Ice goes down. All started by a little cheeky play on the right side. The tier 2 tower on the right side is going to fall down. 19 minutes on the clock. 11 kills on the blue team's scoreboard, and 1,000 tears on CycloneGG's keyboards.
I really do like the call from Cyclone to go for the Fire Giant there. You're in a spot where, as a team, maybe even if it's not directly desperate scenario, you're feeling desperate. You're feeling like you have to do something. So they go for the Fire Giant, and they get it. But they just couldn't disengage. FeelingPumped sniffed it out too early, and were able to get over there and snag away a couple kills for themselves. Callus and Vote both do have the Fire Giant. So it's not worst case scenario. They didn't wipe, but it's still it's just not good. It's not looking good.
See, if the Fire Giant goes down, or if the Fire Giant attempt doesn't happen, then CycloneGG are in the same position that they were before, but everybody's alive. Instead of like it's interesting. I like the mindset of like, wow, we're down. We got to go for a crazy Hail Mary play. But that's not the Hail Mary play. You're giving up too much to go for that Fire Giant. It's just that was not the right decision.
We are at now a 12,000 gold lead from about 8,000, from a little bit under 8,000.
Yeah, I like the way you said that. Can you say that again? 12,000.
I'm suspicious here, so we're just going to resume as the towers are being taken. However, Cyclone, you've made me skeptical after just one game here. Wlfy gonna eat so much damage from the normal beam alone. He's trying to run away, but he just can't get out. CaptainTwig gonna finish him off. Quick finds a double kill as iceicebaby can't get into the sky fast enough. Deathwalker now just trying to waste a little bit of time as he is running away from the 4 members of FeelingPumped that are chasing down. Knocked up 4-man pin. Rally here, and now Deathwalker, he's gonna exit stage right.
Yep.
Is that going to be it, F-Dot?
That's my analysis.
That's your, yeah. I mean, it's too desperate. So they went for the first desperate play as Surrender Vote can get started. This one,
look at Dimi. Dimi is tower diving the poor dragon, gonna smack him down and smack him, yak him.
And that is going to be the game here. FeelingPumped, they lost game 1. It was looking really good for CycloneGG, but healers are OP, as at the end of the day, FeelingPumped, they're going to come back through with a reverse sweep. They win the next 2 games, and now they're going to be the team advancing on to the finals.
It wasn't even the healers.
It wasn't, but I mean,
it wasn't even the healers.
I mean, it's rough.
Player healing done. Nulisa is underneath what she did with the Aphrodite in the first, like, what was that?
Okay.
When we checked the healing done in the 15-minute mark?
When we checked well, yeah. It was 8,000. It's virtually the same number.
My point is the fact that it wasn't even the healers. It was just domination. Shouts to Aggro and Hinuan's podcast. It was just out of this world. Like, FeelingPumped just they just smacked Cyclone. Cyclone had all of the tools to win the early game, and they chose not to. They actively chose not to win the early game. And because of that, FeelingPumped was just able to run away with it.
sometimes moral victories are the most important thing, and that's really what ended up happening in game number 2 for FeelingPumped. They got the big moral win, and Cyclone had the big moral defeat, unable to really get their psyche kind of back into it for game number 3. Poor drafting phase, I think, and really just ultimately they ended up falling here. But still, it was a good showing from Cyclone, and I mean, all is not lost. They will be playing a third. Well, okay, all right. Well, you know what, F. Fine, you can have that. But they will be playing a third place match here. But FeelingPumped, they're going to be moving on to the finals, which is going to be casted by a different set of casters, including the ever so amazing.
Oh, can I say it? Can I say it? Can I say it?
Okay, you can say it.
It's going to be, you got, hold on, let me pull up the sheet. You're going to have Gormizer of So You Think You Can Cast fame. Fantastic guy, fantastic caster. Love that guy. And then you have hi-rez, fat egg, aggro himself, I guess.
And aggro will be the one going there. So we're going to throw it to a quick break. But before that, I just want to once again, shout outs to hi-rez and Eager, both allowing for this event to be put on. It's been an absolute blast. And thank you to F. for joining us from hi-rez for this particular event. It was a lot of fun casting with you. You know, couple mishaps here and there, but overall, it was a pretty good time.
No, I'm super glad that I'm super glad that you gave me the invitation is the word I'm looking for. This was a lot of fun, and you and I are actually friends. We've casted before. You came down for some of the college games as well, so I'm excited to cast again with you. It's always a pleasure, D6.
All right, pleasure indeed. And now we're going to throw it to a quick break, and we'll be right back with the finals for Eager Saturnalia.
Peace.